Hey, this is WhyBeAre's hands. And yes, I really did buy a Bugatti Chiron. It's right here in this box. So obviously, no, I could not afford the over $1 million hypercar. I'm so poor, I had to look up how to pronounce the name of the car. And even now, I'm still not sure. I found the video where Bugatti was introducing the vehicle, and they say it all fancy. It's like, Chiron. And it's like, I'm too poor to even say it like that. So let me give you guys a hint at exactly what this is. And there's the hint. It's right there in the corner of the box. If you're watching the video upside down, it's in this corner of the box. And if what I'm saying is backwards, you gotta yell at me for accidentally somehow making the video upside down. Now let me give you guys a bigger hint. A hint that's so big, it's more of a, this is what it is. It is the Lego Technic Bugatti Chiron. So no, this is not gonna suddenly become a Lego building channel, but I wanna do one Lego build for this because I thought this was pretty cool. By the way, this thing came in a lot of boxes. I ordered it online, and the box that this box came in was not the outermost box. So we had a box, in a box, in another box, which is in the recycling because I had no reason to bring that box upstairs. So let's see what is inside of this box right here. More boxes! It's boxes all the way down. Now, actually, though, we got some wheels right here. These don't look like normal Legos, but they do look like the wheels on the Chiron. Although, I'm noticing, I guess, a separate piece is the little Bugatti logo on the wheel, because you can see it is present on the wheels on the picture, but not there. Maybe I got a bootleg one, right? And it's just actually was supposed to have it. That's how you know if you get a bootleg one, is if it has those wheels or not. I better not. I ordered it from Lego.com or whatever their official site is. All right, so the boxes have numbers on them. So I guess there's a correct order of doing things. This one's 5, so we're not doing that one. And this isn't a box. This is the instructions. That's pretty thick. Yeah, the most extreme Lego I've done before this probably had like 200 pieces. This thing has 305 pages, and apparently this is book 1 out of 2. Oh man, this is gonna be a little bit more difficult than any other Lego I've done, I'm pretty sure. We'll put that off to the side for now. We gotta find box 1. This one has a 2 on it right here. I'm not gonna pull it out just to show you guys though, because that's kind of pointless. This one has a 3 on it, so it's not that one. Let's go ahead and try. Oh, I can see the 4 ever so slightly on this one when I lifted it up. So this one, the last one, the one I haven't even touched yet, that one's going to be box number 1, right? Yes, it is. That is box number 1. All right. So let's go ahead and get the other box back in here, and we'll move this big box out the way. Inside of box number 1, we have another box. No, I'm just kidding. That's just the box I had lying around. What we really have is a bag of stuff. I mean, it's basically a flexible box when you think about it, though, isn't it? We got some more in here, though. I'm going to just pull it all out. 1, 2, 3 of them. 4 of them. They're all numbered, and there's one more that's real tiny in here, and also some big hunks of plastic. There's one more, though. There we go. So those are all numbered as well. So this goes off to the side. 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 No, wait, no, it doesn't. There's 2 number 1s. That could have been confusing. I could have just thrown this off to the side thinking, oh, there's only one number 1, and then I'm all looking for parts that aren't there. Make sure none of these are number 1 after all. Okay, we're good. So these are the parts we're going to be using. Before I do anything reckless with the flexible plastic boxes, let's take a look at the manual. The manual might have a specific way to open the flexible plastic boxes. And yes, I'm going to call plastic bags flexible plastic boxes for the rest of my life, or until this video series is over, whichever ends first. So this is book 1, and then book 1 in a different language that I don't speak. All right, we got a little Bugatti logo here, and it says, if comparable, it is no longer Bugatti. And a logo thing that says, only the best is good enough. You know what? Bugatti wins here because you can compare Mega Blocks to Legos. They're not as good, but they're comparable. Next thing, ooh, nice. I got a nice little picture of the Chiron. It's cool. Got some pictures of them designing the Lego Technic Bugatti Chiron. Oh, and hey. There's a podcast you could listen to as you watch this. If you don't want to listen to me, you can listen to the podcast about how they designed it. And then what they're saying will sound so clever and smart. And then you see an idiot fumbling around trying to put 2 pieces together, putting them wrong, and then having to tear them apart with his teeth. So you got some pictures of the Lego one, and then in the back, the real one looking menacing at that one. That's pretty cool. I like this. Just some extra pictures and stuff about the thing. I mean, you're paying so much for a set of Legos. It's nice to give all the little bonuses like this. It says, I rebuilt the model 100 times before I was satisfied. I hope I don't have to build this 100 times before I do it correctly. Nice sketchbook. Another one with the real Bugatti and the fake Bugatti. It's cool. And yes, I was pointing with my thumb. I do that sometimes. I wonder where that is. Oh, well, okay. Obviously, it says Paris, France, but I wonder where is that? Like, I feel like that's iconic enough where I've seen it before, but I don't know where it is. The authenticity of design found in the Chiron will stand the test of time. Well, as long as the Veyron does, because it looks so similar to it. Some dude designing it. Engine and gearbox. I think we're about to start building, actually. It says box 1, and it tells you where the box is. So see, I shouldn't have even opened the box until I opened the manual. I already did something wrong. This is the most sophisticated Lego Technic engine ever built. This is the first time I've ever touched Lego Technic. Perfect. That's what the engine and gearbox looks like. All right. The neat thing is the pistons actually move. That's one of the things that made me say, okay, I got to get that. That is cool. Ooh, I might have actually done this wrong if I rushed it, because it says we only need one of the bag number 1. And I think it's this one. Here is step 1. Here are all the pieces from the bag. Notice this piece on step 1 above my thumb? That was not in the bag. So I have yet to put a single part together, and I've already made yet another mistake. Time to open up the other bag number 1. Okay, I got both of the bags labeled number 1, opened and organized. I don't know if the pieces were supposed to be kept separate or not, but they weren't. So now we can finally do the first step, which means we get one of these, and then we get 2 of these, which were also not in the first bag I opened up. And you just stick them together, so we'll put it in the hole, and then you'll see which hole it is, because I got... No! I haven't put a piece together yet, and I've made another mistake. It flew off the table. You might be wondering, how hard is it to pick up a piece off of the floor over there? Turns out the answer is really, really hard. So the piece flies over there. I don't see where it goes, and I have a lot of junk over there. So I'm looking around for it, and I bump the tripod that's right there. The tripod comes crashing down onto the table. Pieces fall all over the place, and I got to pick them all up and reorganize them. So that's why the camera is at a different angle, because it fell over, and the pieces are all organized differently because they fell onto the floor. Now we are finally ready to go for step 1 again. Only took like 10 minutes, and I got to focus on this step, okay? I got to make sure I don't mess it up. We get the piece that we need, and we're going to get the 2 other pieces we need, but I'm going to be careful here, okay? Last time I tried to do 2 pieces in a hand at once. I am not coordinated enough to do that. 1 piece, 1 hand, and I did it. I did it. That's half a step right there. That's great. Okay. Next step. Next step. We done. Step number 1. That's complete. And we're going to do 1 step per video. So that'll do it for this video. Till next time, this has been WhyBeAre. I'll see ya. No, I'm just messing with you. We're going to do way more than 1 step per video, hopefully. But one thing I got to make sure that I do. I don't want the commentary to be lazy. So what do I mean by that? I mean, like, the way I want the video to go is I want to be talking while I build about topics that aren't necessarily it. Like, I'll talk about it when we're doing something interesting, but I don't want it to be like, then we take blue piece and we put blue piece in the gray piece. Then we get the blue piece and we put the blue piece in the gray piece. It's blah, blah, blah. It is boring. It has nothing to the video. It's lazy. I want to make sure if I'm saying something, it has a point. So what I want to do for future videos is I want you guys to leave comments, okay? And I want your comments to be about possible things to talk about or questions, just anything in general, so I can just look at the comments and have stuff to talk about. For this first video, though, I already have a pretty interesting topic I want to mention about, and that's kind of the history of the Chiron, because it has an interesting history. The Chiron was actually a concept car in the 90s. That concept car eventually became the Veyron. And then they made an improved version of that car, which was called the Chiron. So I guess they really liked the name of the concept car, so they came back to it. It's just kind of funny. And then if you look at the concept car, the engine that it had was even more extreme than the one used in the production version, which that doesn't sound right. Like, the engine in the Bugattis, they're absurd. They are W16 engines. Like, who else uses a W engine? Nobody. Who uses a 16-cylinder engine? Nobody. They're crazy as it is, but the one in the concept was an 18-cylinder. That's insane. 18-cylinder W16 or a W18 engine. I can't even imagine how you would have that many cylinders in a car. It's just, that sounds so chaotic. I mean, I guess it's smooth, right? You gotta have that many cylinders. It's gonna have the benefit of being smooth, I would hope, but man, it's crazy. So anyways, what I'm gonna probably do when I build it too is I'm gonna try to do this, but I messed it up this time, is I'm gonna put the pieces in front of me that I need, and then I assemble them, so I'm not like trying to reach all over the place. Feel like it's a little bit more efficient if we do it like this. One thing though, the instruction booklet, you know how you can't see the inside part right here? Yeah, neither can I. It's making it a little bit harder because I keep having to like pull it forward and I'm like, oh, I might have done that wrong. And looks like I didn't though, thankfully. There we go. We have the rocket booster right there. So it's just like, we're making a spaceship actually. It's going to go firing off and that's what we're making. We're not making a car after all. Oh, good. You know, one thing that's funny though is like, I'm just attaching two big chunks together right here. And it feels like, wow, I've done a lot. I really haven't. We're on step 4. Well, we're on step 5. We just finished step 4. But we're not even done with step 5 yet. So as long as it feels like we're making progress, that's nice. Even if we're not actually making that much progress. Because, you know, it's like, okay, yeah, we're on step 5. And then it's like only 1,000 left. There's so many steps. You just got to put a bunch of little pieces all over the place. That's the one thing that always gets me is when you're building a Lego, you're like, why in the world is this like this? This makes no sense. And then 5 steps later, you attach a piece to it. And you're like, oh, that's why it was like that. Like that happens to me all the time. And it's just, I'm going to be doing that. Like I know in 5 steps, it'll make sense, but I'll still complain like, what in the world is this? This makes absolutely no sense. All right. So this one is like, oh, I hate doing these too, where you have a long piece going on to multiple parts and then it goes crooked and you feel like you might snap the one on the edge. So you're like, oh, do I just back it out and try again? You never know exactly what to do. It's like, come on, just go on, please. And it just doesn't. That's the worst. Like, I'm afraid of breaking a piece here because, okay, with that many pieces, there's a high likelihood you can make one mistake, break a piece, and then you can't finish the build. You have to go and like buy the piece separate, I guess, or something. I don't know. I've never broken a piece, but I really feel like you could. Just gotta be super careful with things, I guess. And look at that. We are ready for a page turn. Here we go. Woo! Also, one thing I gotta admit, this video is gonna be a little bit more jump cutty than normal because I wanna make sure I build them right on camera. So I'm gonna spend a few minutes really looking at these steps closely before I actually do anything. And I'm gonna do that a lot. So if you see a lot of like ugly cuts, which isn't usually me, that's why. If I really wanted this to go as smooth as possible, I would do 1 step, pause, 1 step, pause, 1 step, pause. But I think that would just be a little bit too disjointed because I would get like half a sentence through and then it's like, okay, we did that step, next step. And I think I can at least remember 2 pages worth of step at a time. Now back to the topic of the engine, okay? That concept version, it had a W18 engine, like I said. And you think, okay, 2 more cylinders. This thing must be even more beastly than the one in the Veyron, right? No, not at all. Not even close. It's kind of hard to find information about the concept car's engine, but what I've found says it had in the range of about 550 horsepower and it didn't have any turbochargers or anything like that. That's why the horsepower output was so low because the Veyron and the Chiron, they got quad turbocharger setups. That means they got 4 turbochargers. Insane. That is just truly an insane vehicle. And I'm building one, which is nice. And I've also read a rumor, I don't know if it's true or not, but like that engine in the concept barely ran or didn't run at all. I have no idea if that's true or not. It's just one of those things I was trying to look up information about it. One of the topics came up and then somebody said like, oh, that thing didn't even run at all or it ran terribly or something. Who knows if they are just saying nonsense. They don't even know anything, never even touched a Bugatti before, but you know, just worth mentioning. It's kind of interesting. And this is also kind of interesting. You would think, okay, you're probably going to do things symmetrical, right? Except, nah, this isn't symmetrical anymore because you're doing the same kind of thing. We got a blue and a, oh no, pieces on the floor. Oh, not again. What I was saying though, you're kind of doing the same thing. You got the blue going into that spot and then you got the black going into the one next to it, except that's a different piece. And that's what it says to do. That's the piece it shows. Now, let's find that piece that fell. Okay, the table did not tip over, so that was great. I was very, very, very careful picking that up. So anyways, we get to use some more big chunks, which means it feels like we're gonna make lots of progress real fast. And I don't know about you guys, but you look at this piece, right? This is my pet llama. You're just gonna cruise around like, woo, woo. That's what I see when I look at it. I just see my pet llama. Because you hold it from this spot and it's a llama. Llama with a big nose, but it's a llama nonetheless. Why is it a llama instead of any other quadrupedal animal? Because I like llamas. Llamas are cute, and they got longer necks. That's a long neck. Not long as a giraffe, but long as a llama. Yeah, that's how I'm going to measure things from now on, too. I'm going to measure it, and is it like a giraffe neck long, or llama neck long, or dog neck long? How long is that neck? I don't know. They are weird-looking pieces. I guess it just kind of works as a corner piece, though. It looks like we're going to be going through these ones really fast, the ones that we have 2 bags of, because look, I'm pulling out 4 of them for this right now. Well, that's not 4 of them, that's 5 of them. So you got 4 of them there. Grab one of those ones. See, I'm doing the lazy commentary. This is it. When you grab one of these, that's the lazy commentary. So make sure, can't be doing that. I bet you we're going to make this pretty much symmetrical, though, because it's going to be a slight difference because it's mirrored. But we're going to be making the same thing, I have a feeling. Let's see. Let's take a peek real quick. Yeah, it looks like it. We're going to be pretty much doing the exact same thing twice. And that's one thing I'm not exactly sure what I want to do for the videos. Like, if I have to build 2 of something, I don't know if I want to just leave it in or if I want to edit it out. Or if I'm building something that's just like the mirrored image, same thing. I don't know if I want to bother leaving it in or editing it out because it doesn't really add anything necessarily because it's usually pretty much the exact same thing. But on the other hand, it just kind of makes it a little bit more confusing because it's like, well, where'd that piece come from? It's like, I built it off camera. Well, why didn't you do it on camera? Because so you guys can go ahead and leave a comment about that as well, in addition to like the topics. And this one is like, how many pieces got to slide in right there? That was a lot. So I'm thinking of just not telling me to do 2 because it's slightly different. Yeah, okay, I'm not going to memorize this page because it is slightly different, but it's just like a mirrored version. So you gotta get my pet llamas and stick them in the hole. Poor llama. You know, you get your pet llama. He's such a good llama boy. I don't have a pet name for llama. He's a good llama, okay? And what you do is you grab him by the feet and you bury him. And why would you do that to your llama? That's mean. He maybe, okay, how about, let's make it less mean. He finds a bush with food on it and he's just eating off of the bush with food. There you go. That's much better, isn't it? Yeah, this is now all talking about llamas. What happened to talking about Bugattis? I don't know. There's not much more to talk about with that topic. And well, on the Chiron itself. Although really, if you think about it, the Chiron is kind of underrated. Like I wouldn't say most car people, all car people pretty much know about the Veyron just because I dropped another piece. Just because the Veyron is like, known as the world record, fastest car, super crazy good. And then the Chiron improves on that, but it's not as well known, it seems like. Like, if you ask somebody about the Bugatti, they might have heard of the Veyron just as a normal dude. But I don't think many people know of the Chiron. And it's kind of sad because the Chiron's a big upgrade, actually, to the original Bugatti Veyron. I think the original started with like 1,000 horsepower. Then they gradually upgraded that over time. And it got up to, I think it was like 1,200 horsepower or something in that range. And eventually, did I do that right? I wasn't really looking. Eventually, it ended up getting to the 1,500 in the Chiron. And the Chiron has a better suspension setup and a better interior, better aerodynamics. It's pretty much a straight up upgrade to the Veyron. You laugh at your millionaire buddies. I don't know, you millionaires or billionaires if you own a Veyron? I guess some millionaires would, but that seems kind of reckless. But anyways, you're laughing at your billionaire buddy that he only has a Veyron and you smoke him in a drag race and on the track and everywhere. Although, might be a little bit less comfortable because it's a stiffer vehicle. Bugatti says it may be stiffer, but it's just as elegant to tour around wherever you do because it's a grand tourer. It really is a grand tourer, though. It's not like a track car or anything like that, but it makes tons of power and you'll be going 200 miles per hour apparently, and you'll feel like you're not even moving that fast at all. It's one of those things, unfortunately, I'll never get to experience, but boy, would it be fun to. Just being able to ride in the Chiron. I don't even need to drive it. Like, I think I would be too nervous driving it if something bad were to happen. But I would just gladly take a ride in one to, up to speed legally. I'm not doing it on the highway or not. Take it to a drag, not even a drag strip. I want to do it where it's like the ideal for me would be you take that thing on one of the runways and you do like the whole half mile thing. That would be the ideal thing for me to really get to experience a Bugatti and its true potential and stuff, I would think. And also the least likely for anybody to get hurt because you're only going in a straight line on a pretty safe surface. That car is made to go fast. It shouldn't be too big of a problem, I would think. Oh, this is fun. On this piece, you get to go One flip, one flip, one flip, one flip. I wish I could have done it as fast as I said it. That would have been nice. I can't go that fast. All right, there we go. And then we got to do the same thing, but this one just has a 2 on it, see? So this one is not being mirrored. It's just actually the exact same thing. I guess, yeah, this one comes from above, so it doesn't matter. It's not coming from like the left or the right where it has to be mirrored or something like that. That makes sense. All right, let's try to do it as fast as we can. In, flip. In, flip. In, flip. In, flip. That was way slower than the way I said it the first time, that's for sure. Oh well, I did the best I could. Now go ahead and put these onto my spaceship. Seriously, it looks like a spaceship, doesn't it? So put it right there. I like that how it's just, there's 3 holes here. It goes in 1 in each hole, so you can't mess up the alignment by accidentally like miscounting something. It keeps it simple. I don't know how long it'll be nice and simple like that, but it's nice when I'm first starting out. These are kind of like Bionicles. Like I used Bionicles before, but I've never used the Lego Technic. Although Bionicles are a little bit different because I remember they had like ball hinges. I haven't seen any ball hinges in this, and I think this, since it has actual like gears in it, I don't think it'll have those because I think those wouldn't be quite as reliable. I mean, these are just plastic gears, but I think they're going to be a lot more reliable than those ball hinges because you'd be moving around your Bionicle and just like making his legs move like he's taking steps, and his leg just pops off because it's just a ball joint and it just falls right out because plastic popped into plastic. So I think let's try to do these 2 pages and then that'll be it for the video, but these ones are a little bit more complex, so I'm going to go ahead and analyze them. Before we continue, I got the piece that fell off the table. I also went and bashed my head into the table, so that's why everything is shifted around a little bit because of the headbutt. Thankfully, I don't think anything actually fell off of the table, and the more that I think about it, the more that I wish the incident was on camera, because I think it would have been funny seeing the camera just going, whoa, boom, dive bombing at the table, and you see the pieces flying all over the place. Because I didn't actually see it. I was busy digging in the junk, and what happened is I hear a bang, and then I hear as all the pieces fall off of the table, and I have to go and look for them. So I don't know what it actually looked like. I just saw the result that made me want to cry. So for this next step, we got to do something a little bit interesting. So we're going to take a blue thing, and we're only going to put it through halfway. Let me show you exactly what I mean by that. So you can see on this blue piece, it has one part where it's a little bit thicker. So you can push this thing all the way through like that. Or if you put it through the other way, it stops right there because that's where the thick part is. Okay. For the next step, we want to put it in for the first click and then you stop. So I feel like I want to do more because that puts it all the way, but that's not what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to just do it to 1 click. And I'll show you exactly why in a second because I was so curious about it. I was looking at the step like, why does it tell you to do that? And eventually I figured it out by just looking at the next step, which really clearly tells you why you do that. And also, one thing I wasn't really sure about is how close do you guys like the camera for your viewing? Like, I kind of like it where you could see all the parts as they slowly get assembled, but then it's also kind of hard to actually see what's happening. So I could have a camera where it's closer like this. It's a little bit harder for me because I know I'll be doing something where I'm like assembling it slightly off camera like this, and you can just see like what exactly is he doing? So maybe not that close, but it'd be nice to have your guys' opinion on which one do you prefer? Because this isn't my wheelhouse exactly here. This is just me doing something completely different pretty much. So like I'll do a little bit of, I'll finish this off doing this camera closeness so you can see what that would look like and if you'd prefer it. Maybe not quite this close because I can't even fit the whole thing that I'm building inside of the frame. That's just a little too close. About a little bit less. There we go. That looks pretty good. So you can't see all the parts around it anymore, which kind of sucks because they're also pretty and color-coded. You can still see me grabbing the parts, though. Like I'm grabbing the 2 yellows. First time I'm using yellows. And I'm curious. So I'm looking. Okay, so it looks like it's not true. I was wondering if all the parts of different colors are different shapes. So you wouldn't have 2 parts that are the same shape but different colors. That's not the case because these are the same shape and different colors. So anyways, we got 2 yellows. We're going to need 2 sticks and then 2 of another one. And I'm doing it again where I'm just talking about what we're doing, which is boring. Also, well, in this camera angle, you kind of have to because you can't see the instructions over there, which is telling me what to do. That's one downside. Although, you know, if I really wanted to, I could just shift the instructions over a little bit and then you can see exactly what we're doing. Does it fit in the... I'm like shoving all of my perfectly organized stuff though. Oh no, what a disaster. Also, the pieces I grabbed are hidden now. So I was not prepared to record like this, but I think it's a good thing just let you guys have the choice. Now, what would be cool is if I had a camera that was like 8K and I could just have one way it zoomed in and one way it zoomed out, but I don't have the resolution for that, unfortunately. Anyways, though, going back to the Veyron versus Chiron thing, I was looking at some pictures of the Veyron and I thought, wow, that's still a pretty good looking car for a car that's nearing 20 years old. Then I pulled up some pictures of the Chiron. I'm like, well, wait a minute. This thing looks a heck of a lot nicer. Like they did a really good job of kind of keeping the same look, but just straight up improving it. Because I looked at the Veyron and I thought it still looked good. Until I pulled up pictures of the Chiron. And then I'm like, well, I don't know about that anymore. Now it just looks dated. Because they improved it good. So anyways, though, the reason why that piece only installs halfway. This piece plugs in right here, and then you're going to just shove that piece through the piece we just plugged in. And now it's a nice steady connection right there instead of being all wobbly like it was right here or wobbly like the other one was. So it's just kind of like a joint-like connection type thing, I guess. The same on this side. And this one is backwards because when I was showing you which way to plug them in, I wasn't paying attention if I actually fixed it, I think. Or maybe I just wasn't paying attention, period. I don't know. So there's a quick flip. And there we go. That's good to go. And that will do it for this video. And I asked for a lot of comments from you guys. Not something I usually do, but I like to make sure I make videos you guys enjoy. And that's kind of what I need to do, it feels like, in this situation. So just as a kind of revisiting of what I said, the comments I want. 1, some topics or questions or anything I could talk about while I'm doing the video, because I think that'd be a good way to do it, where it's just kind of a nice, relaxed thing we're doing right here. Or, you know, it's chill, and by the end of the series, we will have a full Bugatti made out of Legos. And I just noticed something that's going to drive me crazy. Some of the divots on the pieces are in different positions. Like this is not symmetrical. I'm going to have to tear this thing apart to get that fixed, because that's going to get to me. I have to have those symmetrical. I don't think the divots are actually displayed on the building thing. Yeah, like you can't see any divots on this or anything. It's just, I'm seeing it now and I got to fix it. I got to put like all the divots face down or all the divots face up in the same direction. I don't know yet. I got to do something about that. I lost my train of thought. Okay, back to the comments. Sorry about that. Topics and questions and anything I could talk about. And then also camera angle preference, which in like a nice and close like this, far away. And there might have been something else, but I already forgot about it because I got so distracted by the divots. I swear I was going to say 3 things. I don't know what the third was anymore. Anyways, this is WhyBeAre. I'll see ya.